Hello everybody, and welcome back to Aranthea's Awakening, a D&D 5e live stream. I am your Dungeon Master, Arch. With me today, we have, as always, our three wonderful players. To the right of me, we have Kyle.
Hello. I am playing Professor Elowen Silvermane. At least I think I am, unless I get eaten.
You are playing a devoured elven corpse.
Yes.
And to the right of that, Neil.
Hi, I'm Neil. I'm playing Ilo. He's the chef that's about to be eaten, ironically enough.
He's also known as the appetizer.
I'm I'm small.
The small appetizer, yep. And finally, the stagnant image of the Dragonborn.
Yep, I'm Onyx. I play Zai Kieran, the Dragonborn Were-Tiger fighter.
And he's gonna be our diner today.
Kyle, is that you crinkling shit?
No.
Because if so,
That's okay.
I'm making sure Zai eats you first.
Yeah, I'm eating him first.
Alright, good. Take out the bigger threat first, you know.
Then I can't be the appetizer. I'm dessert.
Yep, dessert. You're the
It's because
sweetest.
I'm so sweet. Yep. There it is.
Oh my god. Small hungry boy.
Make sure I got my music going. There we go. Alright, so to give a quick recap of what happened last week, and then we will dive into things. So, last week, you all had found yourselves in the laboratory of one Dr. Colin Stillwater, the doctor in the small village of Taka, who you found out was doing weird experimentation on people and
Very bad
creating
things.
strange chimera creatures. While you were investigating the laboratory, you encountered a teleportation circle in one of the three cells, and the circle began to glow when you were looking at it. Appearing in the circle appeared to be a dark, tan-skinned man who was dressed rather peculiarly for the cold environment you found yourselves in, who introduced himself as Marpash. You all quickly realized that this was actually a Rakshasa in disguise, had a rather interesting discussion with him about the research that the doctor was doing, about Marpash's involvement and everything, why people were disappearing. There was Kyle Face, which was made when Marpash recognized Eli's last name. You all had a bit more chat with Marpash. He basically made a comment about Zai getting bitten and using the black pins, which he found interesting. You found the research book that the doctor had been writing in, which Eli took. After Marpash had left, Zai decided to take out the black pins that were in his shoulder around the wound. And you all left Taka after letting the mayor know and receiving the payment for the guild and yourselves. You then began your slow, arduous journey back down south to go to Shayla's. Along the way, you encountered a very peculiar cart with being pulled by a orc with a halfling riding upon it, who introduced themselves as Chuck and Bubba. There was some purveying of magical items. Zai was able to purchase a +1 blacksmithing tools kit, which was very interesting. Zai also discovered that the box that he carried with him from his master contained 3 bars of bright steel, instructions on how to use them, as well as a little bit of explaining of what's been going on. And magical runes, which allow Zai to become the rune guard that he was meant to be at level 3. On your way back to Shayla's, you stopped in the Emberscar Grove to search around a bit and just kind of investigate at the behest of your guild master. You found that there was a peculiar tree that was hollow inside, where there was a small shrine dedicated to the god of fire. You found what looked to be a long extinguished and used up torch, as well as a engraving upon which was the famous quote of the god of fire, which is from life comes death, and from death comes life. And you guys made camp, still in the Emberscar Grove, on your way back to Shayla's. You guys were about a day's journey away from Shayla's, actually. And when you all woke up for breakfast, Zai had found that he had fangs. Bigger fangs. And I had asked you to make a wisdom save.
And that wisdom save was a 14.
It was. So we begin.
And everything's okay, and we all lived happily ever after.
We begin just at the turn of the music into that perfect suspenseful music I love.
Boy.
Let me get a drink here. I have to read off a thing.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's not good.
Zai, you feel a strange shift in both your mind and body. Almost as if the foundation of your being, your essence, has shifted. You feel the change begin to press and push against your current form, trying to force a change. Now that you can feel this occurring, it feels familiar to you. Likely from the smaller changes you've already suffered. Through sheer force of will, you're able to fend off and contain this shift of yourself. You still feel it there, waiting to be released. A secondary essence residing within yourself, with only a gateway of your making to release it at your whim. That being said, Onyx, I am sending you something in Discord.
D10s for Turnpike Defense.
And I would like you to read it out loud if you would not mind.
Okay.
Oh, D10s for TPK. Okay. Thank you very much, Undead. Everybody is getting D10s while Onyx is reading that out.
Yay!
Okay. Zai's lycanthropy details. Once per day as a bonus action, you may unleash your inner beast and take on one of two forms of your choosing. Hybrid form. You gain a bite and claw attack, as well as dark vision to a range of 30 feet. Orange and black fur grows along your body. Your teeth grow and protrude into sharp, pointy fangs. Your draconic claws extend and sharpen. Your eyes shift to a deep yellow with slits for pupils. While in this form, you retain your ability to speak and wield weapons, use magic items, and gain the benefit of items worn/carried. This form lasts for 1 minute. Your HP is unaffected. Animal form. Your form shifts to the pure animalistic essence within your body. For 1 hour, you may take on the form of a tiger. This includes the physical stats, HP, proficiencies, and attacks available to the creature. In this form, you retain your own personality and mental stats, however you are unable to speak. Everything you are wearing/carrying melds into your new form. You do not gain the benefits of items worn or carried. Lycanthrope's downfall. While your body has gained new power from this infusion of essence, you also suffer its drawbacks. Silver metal in any form now burns your flesh to the touch. If hit by silver-coated weapons, you will suffer additional damage. This damage cannot be negated by any means. Additionally, extremely loud noises are now crippling to your mind. If a sufficiently loud enough source of noise emits within 100 feet of you, you must roll a con save DC 12. On a failure, you are stunned until the end of your next turn, or 6 seconds out of combat.
Well, that is what just happened.
How do I feel about cucumbers?
A bit jumpy around them.
Okay.
Okay.
So, the three of you are awake. I believe you are all having some breakfast. Zai, you feel this change come about you.
Okay.
So what do you guys do?
Like breakfast.
Did we see, like, any, like, changes? Like, did he, like, act different? Like, was
so
there anything that would have caught our eye?
last time you all did see Zai have the fur as well as the fangs.
Right.
And as you're looking at Zai, you actually see the fur and the fangs retract and vanish.
I was about to ask about that. Okay.
Oh. Are you okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That was quite strange.
Yeah, it was weird. I think I have it under control now.
Control?
I might take a few steps back.
Well, the hair's gone, and I feel around my mouth a little bit, and it feels like the teeth have disappeared a little bit now. So, and I feel like I can just unleash an animal instinct or something like that. But I don't know how everything that this entails. But for now, I think I should be fine.
The last thing tried to kill us, so yeah.
We should definitely keep an eye on this. As long as you can control it, that's fine. But
I
let's
can
be
definitely
wary.
feel it. I can definitely feel it inside me, but it feels like it's behind a wall or something.
Eli looks up towards the sky, like almost thinking like he's essentially like, I know the moon's not out, but that's kind of what he's doing, is just kind of looking up to the sky where the moon would be and just kind of stroking his chin. Okay. Well, we must see what happens. But this could be very dangerous, so be careful.
Yeah. Anyway, we're still on that time schedule. We
Yes.
probably get a move on.
Right. Indeed.
All right, so with great haste, you gather up your things after a hearty breakfast and begin making your way back towards Shayla's. Where is my horse? So, the way that you guys were traveling was a bit peculiar in that you were traveling in the early morning. And then typically arriving wherever it was you were going in the early... Kyle. You type so loud.
Listen, this keyboard is Neil's fault.
I'm blaming you.
Blame Neil. He gave it to me.
I blame both of you.
Okay.
You all pack up and make your way. The way that you guys were traveling was that you were traveling early morning, so like 6 a.m. arriving where it was you were going like afternoonish. So you spend the next 8 hours or so walking, taking the occasional break, making your way back towards Shayla's. It's roughly the same as you left it. A very happy and spry wood-set town. I will give a description again as soon as I can pull it up. Shayla's, there it is. So, very similar to the other towns you've seen so far in the Midwood, Shayla's is a bunch of buildings that are sung into the trees. They live within nature as opposed to bending it to their will. You all make your way into town. It's a pretty busy day. You see that there are a lot of traders out on the streets, a lot of shops that are currently bustling with activity. It looks like the Great Hunt that you all had participated in when you were first arrived has since ended, and everyone is now sharing in the spoils. You can see that many of the shops that had very little in wares now have a surplus of supplies. You can see that there are various furs being draped and presented to passerbys. There are various instruments and weaponry made of bones and fangs of different creatures. You can see several like side carts that have food cooking. You can smell the cooked and roasted meats all across the town. Generally, everybody seems in a pretty high mood. What are you guys doing?
Hey,
Guess who's back? Back again.
does that meat smell especially good to anyone else?
I mean, it smells wonderful, but not more so than usual.
Huh. Okay.
Come along, we must make haste.
Alright, to the free company.
Yes.
Alright, so not dallying about, the three of you make your way back to the headquarters of the Free Company, the guild you had joined. Walking in to the familiar entry hallway, which is a large circular room with the half-circle desk in the center and the chandelier above, you see sitting in the same spot where you had left him last time is the Guildmaster Dalus. He's currently sitting there reading through some papers. Looks like he's kind of deep in thought as he's reading. You notice that a lot of the chairs, a lot of the extra supplies that were laying about the room now lie in boxes pushed to the side. It looks like what you expect. It looks like they're about to move.
Okay.
As you all walk in, Dalus looks up from his paperwork and goes, "Ah, good to see you all again. I take it the job was a success then."
Yeah, talk job's finished. Stopped all the disappearances. Man, that was exciting.
I'm glad to hear it. What transpired, if you don't mind my asking?
He got bit by a cat.
I'm sorry, what?
Nothing. We found the source of the missing... Well, the source of the disappearances, and unfortunately, it was quite gruesome. But we were able to put an end to it. Sadly, we could not recover any of the lost ones.
We
I
were
give a
able.
detailed recap without having to say everything again.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to ask, is there anything you are excluding?
The were-tiger part? Where you got bit?
That's the part I'm thinking about. No, I will not exclude anything.
So you are mentioning everything, including getting bitten.
Yes. If
Eli's
we're
looking at you like very...
If we're going to be part of this guild, I don't want to start keeping secrets this early, at least.
That's fair. So you take the better part of the next hour or so regaling Dalus with stories of your venture there, what transpired, what you encountered, what you had to deal with, and you tell him specifically of Marpash.
Oh boy.
He sits back in the chair, just very in thought as you're saying all of this, hand on his chin, just kind of looking at the three of you as you tell him all this. After
Do you not believe us?
He leans forward, clasps his hands together, steeples his fingers, and goes, "It's not a matter of disbelief. It's a matter of me considering the events that transpired. I've learned in my time that generally creatures like Rakshasa are harbingers of ill times. I've not had personal encounter with them before, but, well, if stories are to be understood, then they're not exactly the best of creatures. That being said, they are creatures of their word. Usually. Most interesting that you encountered one. And
interesting, yes.
As for you being bitten, Zai, based on what you're telling me, and the fact that you haven't succumbed to any sort of ailment, or at least you've fought it back, I take that as a good sign then. All the same, I would suggest that when Faith returns, you have her give you a thorough examination.
Yeah, already planning on that one.
Good.
Also, there's the money. We should probably hand that over to you.
Yes, please. So you hand over the sack of 750 gold pieces.
I think Eli has that, actually.
Yeah.
You hand it over. He takes the money and begins sorting it out. And after a moment, he pulls some of the money out of the bag, leaves it on the counter, and then hands the bag back to you and says, "And here is your payment. You will find 300 golds within the bag. So that is 100 divided among each of you."
Very nice.
Sure wish we had all that when we were shopping earlier.
Well, just the same, I appreciate that you didn't. Spending of coin prior to it being handed out is frowned upon.
Yeah, never even thought about it.
Well, probably for the best then. Though I trust that the three of you would not have succumbed to such things. Well, what of the other investigation within the Emberscar Grove? Were you able to handle that on your way here?
I think Isla saw something. I was kind of distracted by growing hair.
Tell him about everything that we found, and we do have that torch still.
Yeah.
Are you showing it to him?
Sure, yeah.
Alright, you take out the torch, pass it over to him as you're telling him the story of what you discovered in the Emberscar Grove. And he looks over the torch, kind of just turning it around in his hands, looking at it as he's listening, and he goes, "Very interesting."
From what I could deduce, this... well, where we found this, I believe it to be the focal point. Where the fire started.
You think you found the center of where this wildfire began, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Very well, I will keep that in mind. I will have to have that looked into a bit more. The God of Fire does not condone this sort of action. And more so, the followers... This is not normal behavior.
Why would his motto be up inside of a tree, though? That doesn't make any sense.
It's not uncommon for there to be smaller shrines dedicated to the gods in various locations. That this one would be enclosed within the tree instead of without is a bit odd. That would indicate to me anyways that they were trying to keep a secret. Which means whoever did this definitely knows that the normal order would not permit such things. At least to my understanding of how things would normally work. There really aren't that many followers of the God of Fire within Midwood, you understand.
I should know a lot about how the God of Fire works, right?
Correct. You're aware of the basic worship and following. The more minute details, kinda iffy.
Yeah, because I do, go with the God of Fire, as well as Earth, but fire is included. So I should know personally that this is not how it goes.
Right. You are a person who goes to Sunday church, but not a person that has read the Bible from front to back 1,000 times.
Okay. Yeah, not a lot of fire worshippers around here. I personally am one, and there's a lot up in the Dwarven Kingdom, so I can definitely tell you this is not standard procedure.
Understandably so. I will try to see what contacts I may question about this sort of thing. Were you able to locate Gandhi at all?
We had told that he passed through there, but he wasn't there when we got there.
No. He's probably off looking for more trouble to send our way. Alright, well, next time I can hear from him, I'll see if I can get him to perhaps look into it. He's good with that sort of thing, so who knows. Very well. Anything else to report? Anything else I should know? Anything you wish to discuss?
Have we received any mail or anything of that nature?
There was the matter of the Great Hunt, which you actually did get a small payout for.
Nice.
You did not win, unfortunately. It seems that another hunter was able to somehow manage to bag a dire bear, which did end up winning the Great Hunt.
I would imagine so.
That being said, you did get a reward for bagging a dire boar. Though they do request next time that you bring the body, not just parts of it. No.
I mean, we could try to go find it, but it would probably be very gross at this point.
He holds up like a hand. I understand you were outsiders at the time. Most people in this area forget that there are others outside of our borders who know not how our society works. That being said, and he reaches under the desk and starts rummaging around for a few seconds. He pulls up another small bag, and he goes, "This is the reward for the Great Hunt. Enclosed is another 75 gold pieces. I took the liberty of counting it myself. And, what else is in there? There was something else, I forgot what it... Oh. You see him open the bag and start rummaging around. It's like, oh, a healing potion. How did this get in there? I must have dropped it in there by mistake. Well, obviously it belongs to you. Here you are. And, he no insight check necessary. You could tell he's not very good with gift giving, but he's basically giving you guys a gift.
Right. Eli just kind of awkwardly watches this whole interaction and thank you. It will go to great use, I can assure you.
Yeah, of course,
I've almost died twice already.
So,
that's
one of you can take it, and that's 25 gold for each of us.
that's
So
inserting, but
I have 125 monies now.
Yep.
You've given your small monster friend all the monies.
And then I canned Ilo 27 gold.
because you owed him for
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
This is for loaning me that money to buy those blacksmithing tools.
Oh. Sure. No problem. Thank you.
Right. So, Faith hasn't arrived yet. As I understand it, based on the time schedule, I believe that we're currently working on. If you let me open my calendar here. Currently, we are on day 9. And by day 30, we need to be out of Midwood and moved into the keep.
Yeah.
As far as I understand it as well, Faith should not be back for another 3 days, most likely 4, depending on how events transpire out in the Farthern Barony, so you have some downtime on your hands.
Al, what do you know about the mastersmiths in this town?
Mastersmiths. I do believe we have a mastersmith here in Shayla's, actually. More prone to working with, bone tools and whatnot, and things of that nature, but metals as well. Let's see, the smith you're looking for, I believe her name is Hanina Alarickson. Rather peculiar sort, but can be very sweet on people.
If you had to choose a kind of weapon for her to use, what do you think it would be?
For Hanina? Oh. If I recall hearing stories correctly, I think she favored the spear.
Oh, a pole arm. Perfect.
Now, in her younger days, she was more of a hunter as well before she took up the hammer instead.
Okay. And,
Why do you ask? In need of resources?
I might need to borrow an official forge soon.
You're a smith.
Oh, yes, I'm a master smith as well.
Indeed, a master smith.
Certified by Tumal Redblade himself.
Ah, of course. Now I can see it. I'm not surprised at all. Very well. Perhaps the three of you will have a better part to play in this guild then. As far as I understand it, the keep that we are seeking to claim for our own has a dedicated forge on the grounds of the keep. Perhaps it will be yours when we take it then.
Well, that would be wonderful. Hopefully I have enough downtime after that to actually go leave the forever.
Indeed. As for you two, and he turns to Ilo and Eli, what about you two then? If Zai here is going to be borrowing a forge, what will you do in the meantime? You are, of course, you have your rooms here.
I think I have some reading to do. I have a few things that I need to work on. It shouldn't take too long, but I really don't have any plans.
Understood. We do have a library within our guild hall.
Really?
Indeed, if you wish to make use of it, that you would be the first in quite a while, actually. I imagine it's actually quite dusty in there right now.
Just point me in the right direction.
It's going to be the 5th floor up. A bit
Very good.
inconvenient, I know, but... Well...
No, it's no matter. I'm quite used to stairs and different levels.
Of course. And you, Ilo?
I don't know. I don't have anything to do. I'm used to being on the boat.
Well, what is it that
Ilo,
you can do?
why don't you come with me? I can give you a lesson in reading and writing.
Okay. I can do that, and I guess help in the kitchen if you need it. That's what I used to do.
That would actually be quite useful, having a chef.
Okay.
Mostly our meals consist of, well, getting food on the street from whoever may be, and having small bits here and there. Fruit and veggies, but I think a nice hot meal would sound good. Perhaps you could make dinner tonight for the guild.
I will vouch for him. He is very good with the knives and food.
With the knives and food.
I will take your word.
Do you have a stocked kitchen?
You know, and he looks down at the bag of coins. He pulls out 10 gold, puts it on the counter in front of you, and says, "Why don't you stock it for us?"
Oh, okay. And he takes the money, and I guess I could use help shopping.
I would look to your companions then. I am currently trying to arrange for us to be moving.
Ilo, give me give me 1 hour. I have to finish writing that spell into my book.
Okay, I'll be in the kitchen dusting or something.
Very good. give me 1 more hour, and I'll have the spell written completely. And I will join you in the word for the place, the kitchen. I'll join you in the kitchen, and then we'll go shopping.
Okay. I run off to where I think the kitchen is. He takes a good guess. He's not going to ask.
Oh, okay.
Make an investigation.
Okay. I like the idea of him just running around trying to find it. 16.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't take you very long, Ilo. You realize there's no kitchen on the base floor. Second floor is where the guest rooms are. Third floor is where the actual guild member bedrooms are. You actually come across Madame Grish, who is basically just in her room, almost brooding in the dark, it seems like. Like, she doesn't have any light sources, and she just kind of, like, gives you, like, as you, like, open the door, and you're like, oh, sorry, close the door. Then you go up to the fourth floor, and you find that there is basically this entire floor is dedicated as a kitchen.
Oh, wow.
In the center of the room, you see that there is a very large circular grill, which is basically just a large stone slab being propped up above a large fire that has long lain dormant. You find that there are several counters along the walls, as well as cutting tables. You can see that there are several dusty utensils, spatulas, whisks, knives of all sorts, pots, pans. You see that there's a cauldron with what looks like long, still, and slightly green water in one corner of the room. There are a few windows that look like they have not been opened up in ages. There is what it looks to be like a funnel above the grill, made of the wood itself, that seems to run along the ceiling out to the wall. It looks a hell of a lot better of a kitchen than what you worked with on the ship.
Damn. Yeah, I will... What time is it?
You guys arrived here a little afternoon, so I'd say like 2 p.m. right now.
Okay. I'll start working. I'll do my unseen servant thing and have him go around and dust and clean. And I don't know how, honestly, that pot is going to be emptied out. I'm just not going to probably worry about that. The gross water in there. There's nowhere for me to put that.
Not without just, like, the best thing you could do would be to grab, like, a bowl that's in, like, a storage cabinet and scoop it and toss it out the window.
Like, how long would that take?
Oh, that's going to take you a good, like, 10-15 minutes of just constant scoop, toss, scoop,
okay.
toss,
For the
scoop,
first 15
toss.
minutes, I'll have Unseen Servant do that, and then I'll give him a rag to dust things and clean surfaces. And that's what he's doing, and then I am looking through all the utensils and kind of making myself familiar with the kitchen and the rest of that time. Kind of taking it easy while I'm waiting.
Sure. While that is happening, because this is going to take you about an hour, what are you other two doing? You see Ilo has run up the stairs looking like a happy 5-year-old.
Eli goes to their room, sits down at a desk, and finishes copying down that spell into his book.
Okay, and that's going to take you about an hour as well.
Yep. That's what I had left. It was an hour of time left.
You're going to your now bedroom?
I suppose so.
Okay. So you find your way up to the guild members' dedicated bedrooms on the 3rd floor. You find that each of the doors has a name etched into the wood. So you see Madame Grish, you see Faith, you see Gandhi. And then you see that there are 3 of them that say Eli, Ilo, and Zai. Going into your room, you find it's a very basic setup. It looks like they didn't put much effort in because of the fact that you guys are going to be moving soon.
Right.
It's basically a bed, a small desk, an unlit candle, a small armoire.
Candles lit.
And a window.
Yeah, he walks in, just snaps his finger, candle lights, sits down at the desk, cracks his books open, and hurriedly, hurriedly is not the term, like enthusiastically goes to write down the rest of the spell.
Sure.
He's very excited.
Understandably so. He's a nerd. Okay then.
Yeah, that's it. When he's done, he would just head down there with Ilo.
And Zai?
Zai is going to make his way outside.
Okay, you walk out into the open air of the town.
And from there, I'm going to wander around until I either find someone I can ask or I find the blacksmith.
There are plenty of people to ask.
Okay, I'll walk up to the most official looking person I see.
Yeah, you see what looks to be like a hunter that's more standing around than anything. Looks like he's more like on guard right now. You walk up and say...
Excuse me, sir. I was wondering if you could tell me where a blacksmith was.
Yeah, what, you looking for what now?
Blacksmith, where they make weapons, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, you're looking for Hanina, right? That's, where the hell is that? She's over at, I think she's like over, like 3 trees that way.
Oh, thank you very much. And I go 3 trees that way.
Alright. You go over 3 trees that way, as he puts it. And you find that there is, as opposed to a lot of these trees where they're very tall and kind of like intertwined and bent in such a ways where it looks very artistic, you find what looks like a very short, fat tree. It almost looks like just a very large, tall bush. You can see that there is smoke dancing and weaving between the branches and leaves of the tree, making its way up into the sky. And even as you approach, you can hear the kind of steady sounds of tink, tink.
Feels like home.
Tink. You hear the occasional whoosh of a fire. You can hear what sounds like a very large set of billows going. And making your way inside, you find that it is indeed a blacksmith's forge. A very large, grandiose one. You find that there is what appears to be several sets of blacksmithing tools being hung up all around this circular room because it is the inside of a tree. There is what looks to be... So you've seen trees, you've seen wood, you've seen what trees inside look like. This tree looks a lot darker. It looks like the walls, the floor, even the ceiling has been covered in this very dark brownish material that has a slight sheen to it.
I'd guess it's to stop it from burning down.
You would probably guess correct. Walking in, you see that there is a full master blacksmith's forge configured and set up, and you can see that there is what appears to be a very lithe, what appears to be a half-elf, currently working away at the forge, making what looks to be a horseshoe.
How do you spell her name? Just so I have that.
I will put it in the roll 20.
You already had it when I asked.
Uh-huh.
Hanina.
L-A-R. I can't even see it. Okay. Thank you.
Good?
And, yeah. And as I walk in, does she look up from what she's doing?
Nope.
Okay, in that case, I will time closing the door loudly with a period in between hammer swings.
Okay. She doesn't look up.
Dang. Okay.
She continues to just hammer at the metal on the anvil, bending it around and around. You can see the metal is still hot. She appears to be working it in.
Well, if she's in the middle of working with something, I will wait until she cools it off again, because that's really the only good stopping point.
You wait about 5 minutes as she continues to hammer away at this metal. And eventually she stops, puts it into the brine barrel that is next to the anvil. And then she picks up... She's wearing this... So I should probably give a description. Very lithe, slender-looking half-elf, wearing the very familiar blacksmithing apron made of very thick, heavy leathers, wearing the thick blacksmith's gloves, also made of heavy leathers. Underneath the apron, you can see she's wearing what looks to be a dirtied, but was a relatively nice-looking white tunic. Simple brown trousers with black leather boots. She has light brown hair that seems to be tied up into a thick bun on the top of her head. And she's wearing what appears to be very thick goggles with some sort of... It looks like a crystal, but it's see-through. That goes over the goggles themselves. And after she stokes it in the brine, she picks up the goggles, turns to look, and she goes, "Well, it's about fucking time that somebody around here knows to have some goddamn respect." Hi. Name's Hanina.
I take it people interrupt you when you're in the middle of a project.
All the fucking time.
I always hate it when people do that.
It's
I should...
actually the worst. Like, do these people not understand that if I stop in the middle of hammering this, I'm gonna have to reheat it all over again, take the extra steps needed just to hammer it into place, then I'm gonna have to put it back into the brine, and let me tell you, that's extra steps I don't want to have to do.
And not only that reheating really messes up anything you're working with. You don't want the flaws in the middle like that. I'm Zach Kieran. I'm Zach Kieran, by the way, Master Smith.
Zach Kieran. Finally, someone with some fucking brains around here. And she puts out a hand, gives you a firm grip.
I'll shake back.
Master Smith, you say? Really?
Well, I'm actually here about that. I can't prove it with the gift because I find myself in need of material. So,
you want to use my forge?
I would indeed. I happen to have some interesting metal in my possession.
Yeah, I know what the fuck you have on you. If you're coming here asking to borrow some shit, then yeah, I know what you need it for. Good on you, by the way. Great job. Not sure how you got it. Hope it was not some illegal way. I don't want to be involved in any of that. That being said, good on you. You want to use my forge. Normally, you're supposed to exchange gifts and whatnot. I'll make you a deal. Because, if nothing else, Hanina is not without fair brains. I will let you use the forge to make whatever it is that you intend to make. If you let me watch the entire process. Not because I need to know how to do it. I am a master smith myself.
Yes.
But because I want to witness it firsthand. Normally, I don't get to witness anybody actually working with the stuff because I'm the one doing it. I want to see it done from an outsider perspective.
Yeah, from my understanding of the instructions, you don't really get to see much of it when you're working.
No, you don't. At all. Also, if there's any extra material, any runoff, I will take that as payment.
I think that will be acceptable.
Deal. She pulls off the blacksmithing glove from her right hand. She goes a nice... spits into her hand, holds it out to you.
Dragon mouths aren't really made for spitting, so I'll just shake it normally.
Yeah, you're lucky. Gives you the handshake, says, "Forge is yours then, Master Smith Zai."
Thank you very much, Master Smith Hanina.
I look forward to watching you work.
I would like to get started on immediately, but I need to go back and grab my materials real fast. Is that acceptable?
Very well. Gives me time to finish this horseshoe.
Perfect. And with that, I will turn around, leave, and go get what I need.
What do you need?
Let me pull up my Word document that tells me what I need.
Well, everything you need, you have.
I guess that is true, but I want to double check just in case.
Okay.
You know, I understand we don't want to mess this up.
That's true.
Check. I actually kind of forgot I was holding the bright steel with me.
Yep.
Check. So, in that case, I'm just going to head back to the free company for just a few minutes. Inform everyone that I'm going to be gone for the next 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be working with some of that bright steel that I got.
Oh, really? Well,
No, not for this one. And whenever I make some for you, yes, you can watch.
fair enough. I don't need to see the whole process. I would just like to get a glimpse of it. I'd like to witness that kind of thing.
Well, when I make something for you, I'm going to need you there for your blood. And with that, I just walk out.
You know, I could have sworn that he said my blood. I'm sure I misunderstood him. These ears aren't as young as they used to be.
Zai, you walk out and head back to the forge. We will get back to you in a moment because I want to pull the focus back to the other two for now. So, Eli, you take the hour to inscribe the spell into your spellbook. Ilo, you spend the better part of the hour getting this kitchen back in running order. By the time you are done, it's looking pretty clean. It's looking, usable.
Ooh.
Yeah. When I head down there, is he still dealing with this giant cauldron?
No, that only took about
That was the
15
first
minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Eli, let's say you head up one floor and find the kitchen. And you find Ilo. I assume, like, what does this look like when Ilo's, like, in the zone, like, happily going about a kitchen?
He's looking in drawers and just analyzing the workspace, kind of. And with mage hand, every now and then he will pick up a utensil across the room and move it somewhere else to try to just put things where he's gonna feel like he needs them.
Neil,
he's
you
just
froze.
being a little nitpicky.
Your camera is frozen.
Well, that's unfortunate. I'm watching it on Skype. It seems fine.
Huh.
It'll start in a second, probably. Here, hold on. Did it do it?
Oh.
It did.
Yep,
Okay.
there it is.
Cool.
And then froze again, but that's fine.
Hmm.
All right, no
Lovely.
worries. All right, so Eli, you walk into Ilo.
I just stand there, like in the doorway, watching him run around in the mage hand and everything. And he's just kind of like standing there with like both hands on his little walking stick cane thing. And his head's just going, just following Ilo from like side to side of the room. Ilo.
Oh, hi.
Hi. I'm done. Are you ready to go?
I think so. This is much bigger kitchen than I'm used to.
It is quite large.
Well, here, I'm gonna cast Unseen Servant again, not as a ritual because I don't want to sit here for 10 minutes, and I'm gonna have him keep working on cleaning things and tell him that in about half an hour to start getting the grill heated and start the fires up.
Sure. Easy enough to do. So you get everything up and running. You command your servant to eventually... Oh, no, you can't, though, right? Because if you leave, I think it has to stay within a certain amount of feet or it disappears.
What's the range on it? Let me see.
Like 20 feet, 60 feet.
Oh, it is 60 feet. Okay, I thought it was much longer than that. Okay. Never mind. I don't do that.
All right. You guys make your way out into the busy streets of Shayla's. At this point, it's like 3 o'clock. So everyone's still out and about. Sun's still out and bright and shining. The leaves above you are rustling in the breeze.
Hello, what is on the menu for tonight? What shall we grab?
What do you think? What do you want?
You
We
know,
should get some potatoes and carrots for sure.
of course.
We're out here for 2 or 3 days. We should get a few different kinds of meat.
Let's see. I would love some sort of roasted, some sort of roasted bird.
Okay.
So he kind of like looks like up in the sky to Bartimus, like, oops, sorry.
Roasted owl.
Okay.
Maybe some sort of buttery sweet bread, something. I don't know. I'm quite curious to see what you can whip up. I've been pleasantly surprised by every little thing that you've been doing.
Oh, Ruben taught me lots of things. I can make almost whatever.
I think it'll be a good sort of last meal I feel like we're going to have here at the current facility. It'd be nice to have everyone together. Make a nice, proper meal.
Sure. So... Okay.
So you guys are going to go searching for ingredients for meals?
Yes. Spices and meats and veggies.
Ilo, since you are spearheading this venture, I want you to make an investigation, but you have advantage from Eli helping you.
Okay. Investigation. That's my good one. 18.
Hey.
Not bad. Travis, go up. Your fans awake. Okay, so you guys spend the better part of the next hour basically scouring through different stalls, different shops that are in the town. And by the time you guys get back to the guild hall, both of you and an unseen servant and a mage hand.
Two mage hands,
one unseen servant, and the two of you with your weak-ass arms are basically carrying a bunch of bags of groceries. The 10 gold is utterly spent.
Okay. Did I put... Yes, I did. Okay.
However, you now have what is the equivalent of enough ingredients for about, 10 meals. It's basically a gold a meal. And keep in mind, that's a meal for, 5-6 people.
right?
Yeah, so we've got, the 3 days we're going to be here taken care of.
Yes.
Cool.
Write that down somewhere, because I'm going to forget it.
Okay, I will put 3 days of the guild hall taken care of as far as food.
Sure. While you guys are doing that, Zai, you make your way back to the forge. You find Hanina standing there, arms crossed expectantly.
Finish with your horseshoe.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard for me to do. It's a
Wow.
horseshoe.
Then let us
They're not
begin.
picky.
After you. I got
Did
all
you
the
say what,
materials.
I'm sorry. Did you say what Hernina is? Like, is she a human or an elf or
Half elf.
half elf? Okay. Just curious.
I got all the materials you need here. I've even got the stock if you need it. I've got extra powder. Hell, if you want to use the blacksmithing tools, honestly, go ahead. I could just make more.
Have my own that I'll be using for this.
Glad to hear it.
And with that, I will go start preparing. Grab a crucible. Just throw one ingot in there and start heating it up over the forge to melt it down.
Alright. I am going to go through this 24-hour cycle with you. And then we're going to do a bit of a time-lapse back to Eli and Ilo. You guys basically aren't going to be seeing Zai for a literal 24 hours straight.
And Ilo, I'm not eating dinner, sorry. Or
Okay, I mean,
breakfast,
he'll bring
or
you
lunch.
some.
Mage hand it into your mouth.
Yeah.
Spoon feed you.
Alright. So.
Here's for not going insane.
I need some better music for this.
Epic blacksmithing music.
You need the music when from Lord of the Rings when they're like reforging the shards of Narsil.
Zai, you take out the bar of bright steel, put it into the crucible, and begin heating it. You, following the instructions that Master Redblade had left you, begin to heat it up to a pretty ridiculous degree. As you watch, you see that this bar, this shining, gleaming bar of magic metal, begins to smelt down into this base liquid. You watch as the liquid begins to spread and distort. And you see that almost exactly down the middle, the left half of the crucible seems to contain what looks like a solid silver-like metal. And the other side appears to have a very opaque, purplish liquid that seems to glisten and sparkle when you look at it.
So they're not a swirling mass right now?
They are not. They are perfectly split.
In that case, I will immediately apply intense heat until they begin to mix, using my fire breath.
Okay. You immediately begin applying fire from your mouth, as well as hitting the bellows. And you watch as the liquid begins to bubble and churn, and you watch, sure enough, the silver and the purple begin to mix and swirl and fuse into this, like a marble cake of just purple and silver swirling and roiling within each other.
And as they mix, I will immediately stop so as not to overheat it.
Perfect.
And as the swirling melted metal is in there, I will take out a dagger and just cut my hand and drip blood into the crucible.
You're cutting your hand, you said?
Maybe my hand's not a great idea. I'm going to be using that. So I will cut up higher on my arm where it's not going to interfere with me working.
Okay. You take, let's say, 1 point of slashing damage. It's irrelevant. You cut yourself and allow some of this blood to drip down into the metal. You can see out of the corner of your eye that Hanina is watching, very interested, and she's giving that kind of nod as you go through. The blood slowly drips in, and you watch it begin to swirl and shift. And you watch what was once just the two liquids melding and swirling. You watch a third color of red blend into it and swirl into this tricolor of molten metal.
And with that, I will remove the gloves I'm wearing, the same thick blacksmithing gloves that Hanina was wearing earlier. Then focus my mind, pushing out any worries I had about my lycanthropy, pushing out any doubts I had about our timeline, pushing aside my worries about my master and the war that's going on, and then focusing only on the metal, place my hands into the crucible.
Ooh.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Ooh.
And I would like to use a D10 inspiration.
Oh ho ho ho.
Okay. Onyx is using that D10,
Oh my
Or
god.
1.
which brings
That's
it to a 20.
That's about normal for me. Okay.
Oh.
At least 20 is a nice, pretty even number. Oh, do I get to add my +1 blacksmithing tools to this as well?
You do?
Okay, so 21.
You plunge your hands into this molten metal, and out of the corner of your eye, you see Hanina with eyes wide watching, with kind of a half grin as you do this. Your hands plunge in. You feel the burning molten material as it's singeing at your scales, burning at your flesh. You feel the pain radiating through your arms. And then it goes away. You don't feel anything. Just numbness. Your eyes begin to cloud over, and you see what looks like silver and red and purple swirling over your eyes, blocking everything out as your vision goes dark.
I embrace the swirling colors.
You, as far as you are aware, pass out. You are unaware of anything going on.
Okay.
And it seems like that for an unsure amount of time. Eventually you come to. It's seemingly the middle of the day, and you see Hanina standing in the corner, or rather against one of the walls, staring at you with a smile. And she gives you a nod. And you realize you're standing, and you're holding your hands together in front of you. It's interesting, though. Resting in your hands is not a giant weapon like you were expecting, but a necklace. A chain made of, obviously, bright steel. And on the end of this chain, you see what looks to be the small figure of a glaive. Like a miniature model.
Glaive.
Now,
Okay.
Onyx.
Yep.
I am going to let you decide. What is the command word of this magic item?
Can I know what it does before I decide a command word?
Sure. You innately know what this item does, being that you were the one that created it. It feels like it's a part of you. Something that you made with your own flesh and blood, and you're keenly aware. This is a glaive pendant. In its normal form, it's a necklace in the shape of a miniature glaive. As a free action, the command word can be spoken, and the weapon appears full-sized in the wielder's hand. While conscious, the wielder cannot be disarmed unless they intentionally release their grasp on the weapon, in which case the weapon reverts to its necklace form on their person. And it is considered magical for the case of resistances and whatnot.
Okay.
I can send you the details, but that is your artifact, sir. And I will let you decide what the command word is.
I have decided that, as is appropriate for my profession, I will make the command word warmth,
Okay.
as fire is required to melt everything down and to shape it.
Sounds good to me. In the meantime...
Wait, am I tired after making all of this, or did all that unconsciousness was that me resting.
Exhausted.
In that case, holding the necklace incredibly tight in my hands, I fall over unconscious.
You feel Hanina's hands catch you, and she seems to pull you over to what looks like a cot in one corner, or one area against the wall. And as you're falling asleep, you just hear her say, "Well done." And you pass out.
Yep. Good night.
Eli and Ilo. You guys make your way back to the guild hall with a lot of ingredients.
Oh, yes.
Yay.
Hello, do you require any assistance? I can't really say that I'm very useful in the kitchen, but if you need help, I can try to assist.
I'll be fine.
Very well. You might have to come get me when you're done. I tend to lose myself when it comes to books, but I will be in the library if you require anything from me.
Okay.
And he'll help set all the stuff down. And once Ilo is situated, Eli strolls, maybe more like almost like skips to the library. He's very excited.
By yourself, Ilo, you're preparing the meals, correct?
Yeah, with my unseen servant.
Okay.
Eli also actually has Bartimus stay in there with him, just to be there. He's like perched on like the windowsill, just like watching.
Sure. What are you doing?
I'll make a chicken. I'll make like a stuffed chicken, roasted chicken with potatoes, mashed potatoes, but like good mashed potatoes, and bread.
Sure.
And a little bit of like an onion soup, but not a lot. This like not the main course. It's mainly like a dip for the bread.
Like a sipping broth.
Yeah.
All right. Make a performance.
Let's see. 16.
Are you going to add anything to that?
I will, because why the fuck would I not? Because I have
You
a
have
million dice.
All 5 of the potential Bard Extreme dice.
What I got? 16. I'll add the d6.
All right, Neil using the d6.
That's a 3, so that's 19 total.
Okay. You take the next, let's say, 3 hours preparing this meal. Eli, as you're upstairs doing this research, you smell what Ilo is making, and oh, does it smell good. Like, you've had some pretty good food conjured up by all the wizards and sorcerers and whatnot that worked at the college, but like, that was like...
Let's be real. Magic food can't beat real food.
Yeah, like, that was like college food, like what they serve at like the mess halls. This smells on an entirely different level of good.
He's like in the middle of reading a sentence and then just like, oh, that smells so wonderful.
It does. While that's going on, Eli, what are you doing?
He is. I don't think Eli has any specific like book or anything. He like goes in there and just kind of browses, and if there's like just anything that kind of catches his eye, maybe something he's never seen before. Obviously, he's always looking for new spells or something that he can grab. So if he sees something related to some sort of like spell book or anything like that, he would definitely take a glance at that. He's just kind of perusing right now, just kind of seeing what they've got, and he is like using prestidigitation to like clean the area up.
Okay.
I guess that's definitely the first thing he does, because Dayla said that it was like probably pretty dusty in there. So he walks in, like lights all the candles and like dusts everything.
Sure. You clean everything up with some quick prestidigitations and begin just kind of perusing. Make a investigation check.
Oh, damn, 21.
Are you adding anything to that?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna save my 2.
You browsing around this small library, just kind of checking out the different books that are available. You find one book that seems a bit peculiar. It's a deep, rich red-looking book with a silver embroidery along it.
What's this? What do we have here?
On the cover, it's just titled Familiars.
Interesting. And he's gonna definitely open that up.
I need you to make a intelligence saving throw, please.
Oh. Well, I'm good at that.
And you become a sorcerer.
Except when I fucking roll a 3. Yeah, I'm not even gonna waste a die on that.
Okay.
That's real bad. I'm not even gonna waste a fucking dice.
You open the book up, and immediately you feel this surge of energy race up your arms. And you feel what seems like spikes being rammed into your mind.
God.
Not of pain, funny enough, but as if knowledge, lost knowledge, is suddenly being flooded into your mind all at once. It's a very uncomfortable experience, and you feel disoriented for a couple minutes standing there holding this book in your hand. But you feel something different.
Okay.
What this translates to, Eli, is once a day, you can cast Find Familiar as an action. And instead of summoning one of the normal familiar options, you can instead choose to summon a giant owl.
Is this a replacement to Bartimus, or does
Bartimus would basically turn into a giant owl?
Okay, yeah. Holy crap, that's awesome.
Once a day.
You don't do that when he's in the kitchen, though, right?
No.
Just like, surprise. Hope your cooking's going okay. Giant owl.
Duration is for 1 hour.
Okay.
He still cannot attack.
Okay.
However, due to his larger size, you can ride on him.
My gosh. That's amazing. Giant Bartimus.
Right. You basically have to cast a spell as an action. It only lasts for an hour. But during that time, he's a giant owl, after which he reverts back to his normal form.
Right. That's cool. Eli just is like standing there, like holding this book, and after he has this realization, just kind of looks down at it.
The pages are blank.
He starts to flip like page after page.
Blank, 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 blank.
He closes the book and just stares at it.
You notice that the silver embroidery that was all along it has turned to a faded, dull gray. Make an Arcana check for me.
Fucking crit 20, baby, for a 27.
Crit or not, you would have got it with even something like that. You are aware that in the magical world there are very rare books that can bestow certain abilities, spells, even just increases to stats, whatever those are. You're aware that this one most likely only contained that one ability for the familiar spell.
Right.
Being that the only person that could learn this ability is someone who already knew the spell.
Okay.
You're aware that a book like this, once the ability in it is used, is gone for roughly 100 years.
Okay. Well, in that case, he is going to put the book in his bag.
Okay. You can put that down as 100 years dormant familiar book.
Cool. Cool. Aside from that, he's just gonna keep perusing and see what's there. Just do a little light reading. He has to stay on top of his game.
Of course.
Keep his mind sharp.
While that's going on, Ilo,
Mm-hmm.
so you are whipping up this delicious meal.
Yummy, yummy.
And as you're doing so, you hear what sounds like dunk, 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 dunk. And you look over and you see coming into the room very slowly is Margaret.
Oh, God.
And she looks at you as you're cooking, and you see her raise an eyebrow.
Hi.
What are you doing?
Cooking.
That's you making that smell? Is there a
If
smell
it's-
in the air? Are you
Only if it's the good smell that you're smelling. Yeah, that's me.
casting spells in here? Are you making it smell like you're making good food?
Can you not see? And he holds up a carrot.
No, I can't see.
Okay. No, it's real food.
You're a very peculiar kobold.
Thanks, I guess.
You make food,
Mm-hmm.
and it smells good. Why did you learn to make food?
Oh. I was on the ship, and that was kind of the best place for me to help. And old Ruben told me, it taught me a lot of things. And that is how I found that I could make people happy, I guess. So I got good at it. Well, I don't know if that makes sense, but
And how do you make all this food just by your lonesome?
Oh, I have the unseen servant magic.
Using magic to help you make the food.
Mm-hmm.
And where did you learn magic?
Callie. Callie was a bard. On the boat. Same boat. All friends of Captain Albar.
Most peculiar. Captain Alabar.
Mm-hmm.
That's a name I have not heard in a long time. How is the old scamp?
He's still getting around.
I would hope so. He wasn't nearly as old as me.
He's getting it. He's getting there. That's why he couldn't come.
Give me a Give me some of your food.
Okay. And I'm assuming he's about done anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've made her a plate. I've made enough for everyone, so I give her plate.
She takes the plate. She takes a bite. Starts just kind of chewing it. Savoring it, it seems like. And she gets this surprised look on her face. She goes, "This is really good."
Thank you.
Wait here.
Okay.
And she takes the food and starts shuffling off. Just dunk.
Oh my
Dunk.
god.
Dunk. And you are basically left waiting for about half an hour.
In that time, I'll use Unseen Servant to get everyone that's here in this building their food while I'm sitting here waiting.
You use the Unseen Servant. You deliver some to Eli, who's up in the library. Eli, you receive some very delicious food that seems to float into the room and just land in front of you. You hear Dalus down below shout up, "Thank you!"
Mm-hmm.
Eli's just, it's good. Oh.
And you see Madame Grish come shuffling back in. And she seems to be holding what looks like a bracelet. And she shuffles over to you and he goes, "Here. Put this
What's
on."
this? Okay.
It's an item that I used to use long ago when I was a spry young lady like yourself.
Oh. Okay.
Take some time with it. I think it'll help you. It'll certainly help you a lot more than it did me.
What is it?
Well, best you find out for yourself. I don't want to ruin the fun.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for the good food. It's been a long time since I've had food that wasn't just something off of the street. Not the side of the street, mind you, with carts and wagons.
I'm glad you liked it. Always good to make someone happy.
Well, you're gonna have to start making a whole lot more good food for us if we get this keep.
Sure. I'd be glad to.
Or at least getting people that know how to make good food for us. I imagine you'll be on the road a lot.
Probably.
Well, thank you. And she... and very slowly makes her way out. The bracelet that she gave you is a small copper band, maybe like half an inch thick, that goes around the wrist. On it, there's a small clasp to actually close it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really adorned all that much. There just appears to be a engraving on the bracelet. That just appears to be two hands, just kind of up like this.
Okay. If you can't tell anything about it, which I'm imagining he cannot, then I will put the Unseen Servant to start cleaning up with the remainder of the time. I'll just cast it since I'm not too worried about it's the end of the day and all that, I'll just cast him another one to clean up, and I'll go up to Eli.
You go up and you find Eli, I assume, in the same spot in the library, chowing down while reading.
Reading, like side scooping into the mouth.
Hey, I was just given a thing. Can you tell what it does?
You were given what exactly?
I hand over the bracelet.
Oh, who gave this to you?
God, what is her name again?
Madam Grish.
Madam Grish.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, let me see it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have Identify?
Yes, I do.
Oh, snap.
And I have it prepared.
Okay. Are you casting it or ritualing it?
I'll just cast it.
And do you have the pearl needed to cast it?
Oh, Lord.
If you would like, I will say that you could have purchased one today with the 100 gold that you have.
That's absurd. Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any components at all. I've never played with components at all, so I would have nothing of the nature.
Because arcane focuses are a thing, you don't need focuses, or you don't need components unless they have a price on them.
Okay.
So in the case of Identify, you do need a pearl that's worth at least 100 gold.
Is that expended when it's like
No.
the spell? Okay.
It's not expended. You just need it as a component of the spell.
Yeah, I guess I would have to buy a pearl. I mean, I have the gold for it now, so that's...
All right. So deduct the 100 gold. And you have yourself a pearl worth 100 gold. So, you cast your Identify spell on the bracelet.
Okay.
And...
And of course I have an owl feather. I can get that no problem.
Yeah, no kidding. You identify this as a bracelet of fuck.
Bracelet of fuck. Okay.
Yeah, bracelet of fuck. No, I had it written down.
I hope you get more use of this than I did. Says the old lady. She gives me her bracelet of fuck.
It's a bracelet of servitude.
Okay.
Basically, it allows for the wearer to cast Unseen Servant, but at a enhanced level.
Okay.
For specific details. Whereas the normal Unseen Servant can only move about 60 feet away from you. This one can move 120 feet.
Ooh.
And it has a strength of 10.
Oh, look at that.
Damn.
Everything else is the same.
It's stronger than Ilo.
It is strong. Shut up.
Basically, what that means is that you can cast Unseen Servant. You do have to be attuned to the bracelet. But when you cast Unseen Servant, it has a strength of 10 instead of a strength of 2. And it can move up to 120 feet away from you without disappearing.
Okay. I have typed this.
That works.
Boom. Yeah, Eli does identify, and I think you're going to quite like this a lot. Here, let's put that back on you and give it time to attune to you, and I think your unseen servant is going to become a lot more helpful soon.
Oh. How so?
Well, he's going to be, quite stronger. And, well, you don't have to babysit him as much.
Oh, that's good. That fucker can't do anything right.
Well, maybe that kind of babysitting you're still going to have to do. But at least you won't have to be within eyeshot of him.
He didn't get an intelligence bonus. Okay. That was nice.
Very good. That's quite lovely for you. Should we go check on Zai? Is that something we should do?
I was gonna at least run a plate over there if he got a break or something. There would be something. You know.
Yeah, let's go run over there and see what's going on.
Okay. And I grab a plate of the food, the last one.
Clank. Clank.
Just white eyes. Clink, clink.
There we go.
Yeah, we go bring him a plate of food.
Okay.
Because this is assuming that he's like not passed out during. This is like when he was making the object. Is that right?
It's like sundown.
Oh yeah, I don't pass out. I don't pass out until dinner tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, that's what I wanted to make sure.
Well, like midday tomorrow.
Yeah. 24 hours later.
You guys make your way, searching around. You ask where the blacksmith is. And eventually you find your way to the blacksmith's forge. Walking in, or rather, walking up, you find that the door is locked. But inside, you hear what sounds like a bustle of activity. You hear tink, tink, as well as a few other peculiar sounds.
I'll knock very quietly.
There's no answer.
Oh, interesting. Is there like a window or anything?
There are windows. They are all currently shuttered and closed.
Oh. Okay, well, Huh. The door's locked. But I hear noises inside, but, well, it seems that whoever is in there with him is, well, they don't want anyone bothering them.
Okay.
No, probably shouldn't do that. No? Well, I mean, I don't really know what to do at this point. I think we should just leave them be.
Okay. I'm sure he has food.
I would hope so.
Okay.
Yeah. I suppose we can give this to someone else, or...
Sure.
Well, shall we head back?
Yeah. We go back.
Okay.
While we're heading, like, while blah, 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 tongue-tied, while we are walking back, hello, something I have been meaning to ask you, but there hasn't really come a good moment.
Okay.
I can't help but I've taken notice a couple of times as it's come up, but you have some sort of disliking for the dwarves, don't you?
Oh, why wouldn't I?
I'm not sure I follow.
What do you mean?
Why would you have a reason to have such hatred for them?
The mines?
The mines?
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I'm very familiar with the mines. I don't think I've ever been to that part of the world.
Wow.
I've been at the college for quite a long time. It was always one of those things that I planned on doing, and yada yada yada, but I was stuck at the college for a long time. Only thing that I know about the mines are that the dwarves mine it for the bright steel, or attempt to mine it for bright steel.
How did they find it, though?
I would assume that they would send their miners down and mine for it, and they found it. But what does that have to do with you? You're not a dwarf. You would.
No, we're faster. Smaller tunnels, faster. We find the shit for them to go get, basically.
So you're telling me that the dwarves aren't the ones actually mining or trying to mine the bright steel?
No, they get it out, but we just find it. They kidnapped us from...
They who?
The dwarves.
No, I'm sorry. Wrong word. They get who to do it? You, as in...
Kobolds. They took our whole colony from the tundra up by Kaskazini. They took us in a boat.
But that's slavery, though.
Yeah, I mean, don't yell at me for it. I was kind of on the shit end of the slavery thing, you know?
Interesting.
The dwarves were the assholes that did it.
Arch, is this, like, slavery thing, like, public knowledge? I would assume not, but I know not to assume.
Make a history check.
God, why is every time I use one of my fucking really good ones, I roll so shitty?
You don't recall ever hearing or reading about dwarves using slaves.
Right. Am I right to say that slavery is not an okay thing?
It is heavily frowned upon by many societies.
That's what I would think. So...
Many, not all.
So let me get this straight. The Dwarven Kingdom has been implementing slavery, specifically for the kobolds, to find and mine the bright steel for them.
Right, well, you know, they can't really enslave a race of people that people will care about going missing, so here we are. Our tunnels are small, we're fast, and we find the things for them to... Just tunnels are smaller, faster. We find it in
that
deposits.
That doesn't make it okay.
And then they dig the big tunnels and get it out.
That doesn't make it okay. That's...
No, it doesn't. That's why I hate them. Duh.
Well, just... I see what you're saying, but don't... The only thing that I can say is don't take it out on every dwarf that you see. Not every dwarf is of that nature. Just remember that. Not all dwarves are from the Dwarven Kingdom.
Okay.
Just keep that in mind. I mean, if we find dwarves that are of that nature, that's completely different. Those kind of people, well, they will get what they deserve in due time, I'm sure. But I am terribly sorry for all of that. That's, I know that doesn't change anything, but...
I got out, so the boat is fine.
Well, maybe down the line, if it ever comes to it, maybe we can help stop this.
Oh, I stopped it. It's fine.
You did? You stopped it, so there's no more.
As far as I'm aware. And then I got on the boat. I just want to go back to the boat now. kind of. Yeah, well, I miss it. It's not that I'm not liking being out here.
I mean,
You know.
I miss the college and my friends,
Mm-hmm.
but it is nice to have a sense of purpose for once. I've lost track of that over the years.
Yeah, I just hope I do Captain Alabar proud, you know.
I'm sure he's going to be very proud of you. Oh, I think we're here.
You guys
Well?
make your way back inside. You going to bed? Or is there anything you guys would like to do?
What time of? I know you said it was getting kind of dark earlier.
Yep. At this point, it's like 9-10 p.m.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Eli is gonna turn in for the night.
Okay. I am going to do a time skip here, unless there's anything you guys wish to do.
Nope. Not really. Just Eli peruses the library all the time.
We forward ahead and find it is nighttime the following day. Zai, you awaken on the cot in the blacksmith's forge. Hanina is kind of just sitting there looking at you.
Did I finish?
Well, you did one. You did pretty good, too.
That's so glad.
You did lose both your hands, though.
Oh, guess that means that I'll have to make another one.
Oh, that's unfortunately not gonna work. Hard to forge with no hands, am I right? You look down. You still have hands. She's just giving you like a joking smile.
Yeah, it's gonna be real unfortunate. I think I'm seeing things though. I still see them attached to my arms.
Would you like me to remedy that for you?
Nah, I think I like to keep the illusion.
Very well. So now what, Master Smith?
Arch, how many days has it been? Do I have enough time to make another one?
Yeah, you actually have enough time to make all of them. You are currently on day 10.
Okay. Well, I guess it's time to get right into making the next one. I'm gonna have to go get someone. Gonna need some of their blood as well. Not all. It's not all for me. Did I mention I have more than one you can get?
She raises an eyebrow. Goes, all right.
You're not losing out on too much business, I hope. And the excess brat steel covers anything you lose.
Oh, does it? Go ahead. I'll be happy to take the extra excess right steel.
Also, do you have any water in here? Like, not for the metal, but anything to drink? It's been a while.
She points over to a shelf along the wall that seems to have some dried foods as well as what looks like some jugs of water.
I eat just a little bit, drink a lot of water, and then go, I'll be right back, and then kind of stagger out the door. As I walk back to the free company, I wake up a little bit more.
Are you wearing the necklace, or are you still holding it?
About halfway, I look down, holding the necklace. It's like, oh, right, and then I put it on.
All right.
Yeah,
you make
I
your way
stagger.
back to the guild hall.
Yeah, I walk into the free company. Who's the first person I see, like, besides Dallas? Eli or Ilo?
That would be Ilo, because Ilo's on the 4th floor, Eli's on the 5th.
Okay, I grab Ilo.
We'll say Ilo is currently in the kitchen preparing dinner.
Okay, Ilo, how long until you finish?
How long until I finish?
Not that long.
Not long. You're just in time.
Yeah, gonna have to pass on eating again, and so are you.
Okay. Sure. I think I can put the servants on the rest of this. It's just kind of plating now, you know. Do we need to go?
You have a few minutes. You can finish up, and then we'll be going.
Okay.
It should only take like an hour of your time. I'll be gone again for another day.
Okay. Whatever you need.
This is mostly for you. You'll see what I mean when we get there.
Okay.
All right.
And then
So,
I'll just sit in the corner and wait for Isla to finish.
Ilo, you finish preparing the food, get it plated, and let's say it gets sent up to Eli, and then down to Madame Grish as well as Dalus. We'll say at this point you've attuned to your bracelet.
Okay.
While I am sitting in the corner, I want to write a note to Eli to go with his food to tell him what's going on.
Sure.
Just that Ilo and I are going to disappear for a while.
Good, because he'd be like, what?
After the food is dished and served... oops, I just realized my music's not been playing. I'm sad. There we go. After the food is served and taken care of, Ilo, you follow Zai to the blacksmith forge. Being able to walk inside now, you see it in all of its splendor. You see a half-elf standing there, arms crossed. And she looks at you as you walk in and goes, "Who's this?"
Hi.
This is the next blood donor.
You the one that got all of the, material here?
Nah, material was my graduation present, I guess.
Ah, lucky.
Oh, the steel stuff?
You're correct. Your name's,
Ilo.
Ilo. Anina.
Hi.
Not very often I see a kobold. In fact, I think you're the first.
Understandable. I get that a lot.
Well, get on with it.
Okay. Ilo,
Mhm.
when I tell you to, I'm going to need you to just make a little cut on your hand and drip some blood into the pot I'm working with, okay?
Oh, good. Okay. Bleeding for the bright steel again.
It shouldn't
Got
be that
it.
bad. Plus, you get to keep it this time.
Okay. I trust you.
So, you go through the same process. You begin heating the metal, waiting until it gets to a swirly consistency without separating.
Isla, if you have anything that you can do to help me like concentrate better, this would be a good time.
Okay. I prestidigitize the sense of like an ocean breeze in front of him.
Sure.
Kind of help with like a meditative thing.
Are you giving him a inspiration dice? Can that?
How do I do that?
One of your bardic inspiration dice?
Oh yeah, sure.
Because you're a
Because
bard.
you're a bard.
Yeah. I will. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they can be applied to saving throws. Yeah.
I think they can be applied to
I'll click
anything
it.
you
Hold
want.
on.
Not anything. It depends on the
Except
school.
like damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ability
and saving
checks,
throws.
attack roll, or saving throw. Okay. All right. So you heat it up when the time is right. Ilo, you are asked to approach. You cut your hands and drip some blood in. Ilo, you watch as your blood drips into this molten metal, and you watch it become this swirling mass of silver and purple and red. You've seen bright steel. You've never seen bright steel in this form.
Then, again, clearing my mind of anything that could be bothering me, pushing Isla's existence out of the room, I plunge my hands into the metal again.
Pushing Ilo's existence out of the room as Hanina is physically pushing Ilo out of the room. Going, okay, come on. All right, you've done your part. Now, get out.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, but Smith only thing.
Okay. Good
And
luck.
She like shoves you out the door, slams it, locks it. Zai, make that sweet con save.
Okay, plus my d6. 6.
Oh.
So
Sure
23.
enough.
So that makes 23 with the plus 1.
Do you guys want to just kind of fast forward and we'll go through each of these craftings until final day?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I don't know if there's anything you guys specifically want to do on any of the days, but
Just cooking.
Nope.
You
Yeah.
have
Cooking
plenty
and
of time
reading.
to do it.
Ilo takes good pride in his kitchen work.
he does.
And Eli just likes to book.
I'm so terrified about these con saving throws.
You succeed on this con save and are able to clear your mind and again go through that same process. Your eyes cloud over as the swirl of color encompasses them. And another 23 hours pass by. You come to again from what seems like a dream. And in your hand, you appear to be holding what looks like a dagger. However, it's shaped differently than what you're familiar with for a dagger.
Is it shaped like a kitchen knife?
It's shaped like one of your scales. It's got that silver sheen of bright steel. However, it's in the shape of one of the scales on your body. You can feel, even just holding on to it, that this is not an item meant for you. You don't know what it is or what it does, but you know who it's intended for.
I do, because I know how to make these things.
And you are very tired, sir.
And I pass out again,
You pass out again.
clutching the scale.
It is now day 11.
Do I wake up?
You wake up, clutching the scale. Hanina seems to be taking pretty good care of you. Seems like she understands what's going on.
Why does anybody ever forge things? This sucks.
Well, I feel
How
like
did
people
someone-
don't typically do these like 3 in a row.
You ever like think about those things where it's like, I wonder what the first person that did this was thinking. Like, how did the first person to do this discover this? How many trial and error takes were? How many people died trying to make a thing out of this
Before they decide, oh, the correct answer is to plunge your
before
hand
they
into the molten
accidentally
metal.
cut themselves and bled in it? And their hands.
I can't even comment on any of this.
Oh god, of course not, because he has it all written down.
And who knows? Maybe it's important to the story in some way. Who knows?
No, probably not.
Probably not. Who knows? You awaken. Hanina seems to be taking care of you at this point. She's holding food and water for you as you wake up. She looks at you, gives you another nod. That's pretty good. Not every day that I get someone coming in here making 2 items and not fucking up.
Still one more to go.
There's another.
God damn.
Last one.
All right. Color me intrigued.
For all the Brad steal I'm giving you, I want some discounts from this store later. I say,
No promises. And she winks at you.
No promise.
I smile and like stagger towards the door again.
Make sure you give this man another bardic inspiration, Neil.
You make your way back to the guild and find Ilo. Ilo, as you're going about preparing the kitchen, getting the food together for tonight's dinner, you again feel that... Well, I shouldn't say again. You feel this kind of hum in the air, like something pulling at you, pulling at your very being. And it seems to be getting closer and closer. And eventually you see Zai walk in the room holding what looks to be a dagger in the shape of a dragon scale. And you feel it in your body like, that's mine. That is a part of me. That is a piece of me. Give it to me now.
I hold it out to him.
Wow.
It's yours. Okay, moving on, and I go upstairs. You get a sense that Zai is super tired.
Oh, so tired. So, Ilo...
Bardic inspiration.
I don't know. I'm gonna chase him along. He
Ilo,
sits there for a minute, kind of confused, and then chases along.
Before that, grabbing the dagger, as soon as your hand touches the hilt, you get this sense of belonging. You get this sense of, like, this is right. And deep down, you know what this does. You know what it is. This is already attuned to you. This is a dragon scale dagger. In the shape of a dragon scale, sharpened to a fine edge, this blade is roughly the size of a kitchen knife. When the command word is spoken, which I'm going to let you decide, the wielder and the blade grow in size. The wielder benefits from the effects of the enlarge spell, and the dagger warps into a short sword, but retains the thrown property from its dagger form.
Oh my god.
This effect can be used once per day and lasts for 1 minute, no concentration required.
Oh my god.
Oh, goodness.
I'm going to message that to you, Neil,
Okay.
but I like reading things out because it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that is your artifact, sir.
Oh boy.
Zai, you rush off to find Eli, and you find Eli sitting in the library. And then you hear Ilo scampering up behind you.
Zai, goodness, you look terrible.
Yeah, come with me.
Okay.
It's your turn.
Ah, I see. Awesome. I've been waiting for this. I'm quite intrigued. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm quite intrigued.
Out of curiosity, you have anything that could help me maintain concentration on something?
I do not.
Well, guess I should bring Isla with us then.
I'm here.
But you're coming with us back to the place.
Okay.
Gonna need some of whatever you did last time. That ocean breeze really did wonders.
Sure.
Okay, come along. And I just kind of go back down the stairs. No more explanation at all.
The three of you make your way to the blacksmithy. Hanina is standing there, and she watches as not 2 people, but 3 people now walk in the shop. And she goes,
He's here to help with the concentration again. This one needs to give the blood. He's also gonna argue a whole bunch about staying here for the rest. I'll leave that up to you to deal with them when time gets here.
I mean, I'm not going to argue. It was more of a request. Requests can be denied.
good, denied.
Fair enough.
Okay, taken care of. To the crucible.
Alright, and very similarly, you light up the metal, smelt it down to the swirling mass. And the
Eli,
time comes around.
I need you to cut your hand.
Oh.
Blood and pot. Go.
Okay. Well, I must. Do you, yeah, I'm assuming you have like a dagger or something for him to do it with.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And he like, oh, goodness. And like, oh, that's not great.
After knowing Zai for as long as you have, you know usually he'd be nicer about this, but
Yeah.
like, he doesn't care anymore. Just get this over with.
This is the I've been staying up for like 48 hours straight, studying for a final exam.
And I'm about to do another 24.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he like holds it, cuts his hand. He's just like he's complaining the whole way, but like he's dripping his blood in there, and just like, oh, it does not feel good.
Eli.
Ilo, do your thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you have another bardic inspiration dice. Eli, you drip the blood into this swirling mass, and you watch as it becomes the 3 different color liquids. The silver, the purple, and the red kind of swirling and broiling.
And again, pushing out Ilo's existence, pushing out Eli's existence, pushing out anything that could be bothering me. I plunge my hands into the swirling mass of metal.
As the 2 of you are being pushed out the door, Eli, make a perception check.
Okay. I did think of something sneaky to do, but I think it's a little too late to do that. So I did want to do that. I wanted to have him like reform into like a rat or something and then chill in there.
As you're being pushed out, just before the door slams shut, you can see through the crack in the door as it's closing. You see Zai take his hands and just... as he sticks them just straight into this molten metal.
Yeah, his eyes are just like...
And then you watch the
he
door
looks... I think like that brief second that he sees that, he looks at Hanina like... Did he just... and
you hear the locking of the door chain. Make a concentration.
Roll 20, gods.
Oh,
yes! 28.
Take that, undead.
All right.
You bastard.
Again, another 24 hours pass by.
Oh, I didn't mean to click that.
Zai, when you return to consciousness,
I still have my hands.
you still have your hands. And in your hands, you appear to be holding a very well-designed and ornately carved and formed wand. The handle appears to perfectly fit a single hand, with the very concise and intricate designs of what looks to be vines with leaves and flowers winding along the handle up to the very tip of the wand itself. And at the very base of the handle itself, there's like a bubble that looks like it's a gem, but it looks more like that purple swirling mass that was part of the bright steel.
Oh.
And you are super fucking tired.
Yep, 3rd time, same as the first 2. I pass out.
And vroom, Hanina catches you. Another 8 hours go by as you sleep and sleep.
She has this down to a science now.
Mm-hmm.
She just like scoots the cot under you and you just fall.
Like one foot just kicks it behind you and you just thump. You wake up after the 8 hours. She's sitting there looking at you and she goes, well, not bad.
God, I never want to do that again.
Oh boy, if you're going to be a master smith, you're probably going to have to. That being said, there's probably going to be a lot more money involved when you do.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Out of curiosity, how much rat steel did you end up getting from that anyway?
That's for me to know.
Oh boy. I bet she at least got like an ingot worth.
Well, if we ever need anything, I'll be sure to stop by here. Gonna count on those discounts.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. All those discounts. Uh-huh. Yep, that's what I'll do. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just do me a favor and don't come back here anytime soon. I kind of need to keep my shop running, and this has been 3 days of me not making any income.
Well, I kind of find it hard to believe that I'm gonna get any more brat steel anytime soon.
Just to be sure, don't.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for allowing me to use the forge. I hope you got to have an experience watching that happen 3 times.
Oh, it was definitely an experience. I got to see what it looked like, not being the one that was in the trance.
Have to admit, I'm kind of curious what that's like myself now.
Well, then I guess you better find the blacksmith that'll do it in front of you.
I suppose so. Well, I guess I should take my leave now. I'll see you around.
Rest well.
And I walk out the door.
You walk out the door.
Then I go back to the free company and go to sleep.
All right.
After, I guess I'll stop by Eli first, just like throw the necklace at it, or the wand at him, and then go to sleep.
Eli, make a dexterity check.
Oh my god.
Yes, I literally meant
can I
throw.
just mage hand it out of the air?
Why not? You see Zai walk in, take this metal stick, throw it at you. You just kind of mage hand catch it. You can feel your essence all over this thing as it approaches. Even before it enters the building, you feel it.
Yeah, I think he was he's in the front entrance area, like pacing back and forth. The closer he got.
Zai tosses you the wand, goes upstairs, and immediately passes the fuck out. Eli, as soon as your hands touch the wand, you innately know what it is, you know what it does, and you know it's yours. This is a wand of glyphs. Once a day, you can cast Glyph of Warding, with the only caveat being that it cannot be an explosive rune, and it can only be a 3rd level spell or lower.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
For those of you who don't know what Glyph of Warding is, I will read it for you. When you cast a spell, you inscribe a glyph that harms other creatures either upon a surface, such as a table or a section of floor or wall, or within an object that can be closed, such as a book, a scroll, or a treasure chest, to conceal the glyph. If you choose a surface, the glyph can cover an area of the surface no longer than 10 feet in diameter. If you choose an object, that object must remain in its place. If the object is moved more than 10 feet from where you cast a spell, the glyph is broken and the spell ends without being triggered. The glyph is nearly invisible and requires a successful investigation check against your spell save DC to be found. You decide what triggers the glyph when you cast the spell. For glyphs inscribed on a surface, the most typical triggers include touching or standing on the glyph, removing another object covering the glyph, approaching within a certain distance of the glyph, or manipulating the object on which the glyph is inscribed. For glyphs inscribed within an object, the most common triggers include opening that object, approaching within a certain distance, or seeing or reading the glyph. Once the glyph is triggered, the spell ends. You can further refine the trigger so the spell activates only under certain circumstances or according to physical characteristics such as height or weight. Creature kind, for example, the ward could be set to affect aberrations or drow, or alignment. You can also set conditions for creatures that don't trigger the glyph, such as those who say a certain password. The spell glyph, which is the only one that you can do, you can store a prepared spell of 3rd level or lower in the glyph by casting it as part of creating the glyph. The spell must target a single creature or an area. The spell being stored has no immediate effect when cast in this way. When the glyph is triggered, the stored spell is cast. If the spell has a target, it targets the creature that triggered the glyph. If the spell affects an area, the area is centered on that creature. If the spell summons hostile creatures or creates harmful objects or traps, they appear as close as possible to the intruder and attack it. If the spell requires concentration, it lasts until the end of its full duration.
Hell yeah.
That was a lot of reading. But that is your artifact, sir.
Very good. Okay, so just to clarify, it's the wand of glyphs.
Wand of glyphs.
It functions like the glyph of warding, but it can't do the explosion thing.
I'm gonna send it to you.
And And it does the spell glyph. It doesn't do all the other stuff. It only does the spell glyph.
Correct.
Cool. That's fucking sweet. And of 3rd level or lower. Cool. Oh man. Oh boy. Eli is just like he is examining it. Just
It looks purty.
go for purty. All right.
You are sleeping. It is like dinner time.
Yep, sleeping.
You're sleeping. What are you two doing?
Huh.
Cooking.
Eli?
Thinking. I think. Well, it's nighttime, so there's nothing really that he can do at this point. But I think he's gonna like go back to the library and continue. He's actually gonna see like if he's gonna see if he can find anything that would possibly contain any knowledge of bright steel in it. And he's just gonna, if he finds anything, like he's just like I imagine him with like a desk full of books, just kind of looking through them, and he's got his wand just like sitting right there on the desk, like an inch away from his hand, and then he'll glance at it, just ever so often.
Sure. Make an investigation.
Well, where is my investigation? Oh, wow, 24. Neil's doing things, so it... Yeah, got a 24.
What's the extra D4 on that, Neil? Oh, that's from the enlarge. Never mind.
I'll probably adjust those later, but those are just at the moment what I've put in.
24 investigation. Looking through these books that they've gathered here in the guild, there doesn't really seem to be any mention of bright steel itself. Seems like a lot of the books here are either tales and stories of past adventures, either by the guild members themselves or other heroes of lore within the world. There are what appear to be like some bestiaries, things of that nature. For the most part, though, it's pretty scattered bits and pieces of knowledge.
Right. Okay. Well, he would probably stay up a little too late, but luckily he only needs 4 hours. But after kind of exhausting his resources, he will scoop up his wand and head to bed.
Okay. So eventually you all find yourself to sleep.
Zai hasn't eaten in like 3 days.
Morning comes around. It is day 13. Which means...
Faith should be back. Isn't it?
Correct. You all wake up. I assume Ilo is up bright and early getting breakfast ready.
Yep, I made extra.
Oh, good.
Eli heads downstairs in his normal chipper self. But he's got like he's like holding the wand in one hand. And he comes downstairs and he's He just he's not even looking at it at this point. He's just kind of walking around, cane in one hand, wand in the other hand. I must say, I realize that I don't really know where to put this. I can't just walk around with this wand out. I don't really have anywhere to store it. It's
What's your walking stick made out of?
probably just wood and with metal braces.
I go over to a torch or something. Take out a knife, carve a hole into the top of his walking stick, and drop an ember in the top, and just wait for a while we eat.
Wait, okay, wait, you did what now?
I carved a little hole into the top of your walking stick, and then I drop an ember into the hole. It's gonna hollow your walking stick out.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. He just Eli does not understand what you're doing, but lets you do it. Just yeah, he's very sure that you know what you're doing.
And then I eat 3 plates worth of food.
Yeah,
All the extra is now gone.
Ilo comes and gives you all the food ever, and then he scampers up on your shoulder and hugs you around the neck.
Oh.
It almost hangs there.
I pat him on the back awkwardly because I don't know what to do when someone's on my head. I guess you liked it then.
It's great. Thank you. I don't have words.
Hopefully that one will last you better than the other knives did before I fix them up.
I must agree. These items that you've created are magnificent. I've never seen something with such. Well, words escape me at the moment. But it's amazing.
Well, I hope so. It's not without risk to make these things.
So I saw a brief moment of that.
And if you saw it, then you will never speak of it to anybody.
Of course not.
Okay.
It just caught me off guard, that's all.
I trust you too. I don't trust everyone else.
Well, clearly. That's understandable.
I check the walking stick, and seeing that it's hollowed out a ways, I'm gonna knock it on the floor, stamp the embers out, then hand it back to him. There's a sheath for your wand. Assuming that works, and I'm not making this all up, Arch.
I'll say it works because it sounds cool as fuck that you can hide your wand in the staff.
That is how you hollow out things like bamboo, though. You just drop an ember in it and it burns through.
That's cool.
Let's go with that. Why not? It sounds cool.
He just kind of looks at it kind of. Whoop.
I like to imagine that just the bubble gets stuck on the top, and that's how
Yeah.
you pull it out.
Oh, that's it's on where his thumb, because it's it's like one of those handle canes. So it's right where his thumb rests. So you can flick it with his thumb and grab it.
Why not? I like it. That sounds awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Also, I forgot to ask, Ilo.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your command word?
Oh goodness.
I heart Zai.
I have the power.
I don't know. I'll think about it.
All right, we'll come back to it.
Better be really fucking cool, Neil.
It's probably just gonna be the word "big" or something.
This is Ilo we're talking about.
It makes me big.
Damn it.
All right, so breakfast goes by. Dalus at some point walks in and goes, "Oh, well, Ilo, I must admit, It's wonderful having somebody to make food around here.
Isn't it? I told you, he's quite good.
Oh, food's real good.
Thanks.
We tried to bring you some food the first night, but well,
I imagine I was probably busy at that point.
yes, there's locked doors and strange noises and whatnot, so just kind of left. So, you said Dallas is in here, right?
Yeah. He's going over grabbing some food.
So, Dallas.
Yes.
Shouldn't Faith be here?
That is... Yes.
Well, this is the time we arranged to meet up. She's not here, so I guess we have to move on at some point. If she comes, tell her we already left and she's free to try to catch up with us.
I would give her till at least noon to get back. I mean...
Oh yeah, there's no way we could leave before then anyway. We have to prepare for our travels.
So Dallas sits down and just kind of is idly chatting with you guys as you guys are finishing up your food. And you hear the door downstairs open up, and you hear basically ringing through the building. You just hear, "Guys, everyone, where are you? I'm back."
We're in the kitchen.
Is this the fourth?
We're
Is
not
this
in
the
the
fourth?
kitchen.
Where
You're in the
are we?
kitchen. You guys are in the 4th floor.
I just yelped down. Fourth
Yeah,
floor.
that's the kitchen.
You hear after a moment, "Okay." You
And I go
hear
back to eating.
you hear humming and skipping up the stairs. And after like 20-30 seconds, where is she? There she is. You see a very familiar tiefling come skipping in the room. Light purple skin, grayish white hair that reaches just above her shoulders, wearing chainmail armor. At her waist is a mace in the likeness of a droplet of water. And most noticeably, you notice that her left arm is missing.
What the fuck?
And she just comes humming in and goes, "Hello, everyone. How are you doing?"
You know, I thought I risked my body parts the past couple days, but you seem to have succeeded.
Oh, yeah, that was,
You-
well...
You know your arm's missing, right? Why are you so happy?
My arm is missing? And then she drops to her knees and starts going, "No, my arm! Oh, no, my arm! Where did it go? Of course I knew my arm was missing."
I guess it wasn't just a simple, "Oh, you're cured, now I can head back."
No. Is that food? Can I have some? It smells really good.
That
Sure.
Milo made it.
You made it? That's so good. And she, like, rushes over. One hand is, like, serving herself some food. Just grabbing everything, sits down, starts chowing into it. She's getting, like, bits and pieces of food scattering all over the table as she's eating. She goes, "You know, there's no really good food on the road when you're traveling, and it's really hard to cook your own food when you're, you miss your arm." She's just stuffing everything in her face.
God damn it, undead.
That's
God,
a version 2 now.
So, what's going on?
I don't know. Why don't you tell us what's going on? You're the one missing an arm.
Well, what happened?
Actually, you can tell us about that on the road. We need to start heading out as soon as we can.
That is true.
Are we leaving already? I
Do you have
wanted
anything
to
you need to take care of?
relax. I wanted to go have some time hanging out, go shopping. I don't know, get to know you guys.
Somebody took
it's
their
just-
sweet time getting back here.
Well, why did you do that?
We've been here for several days. I'm talking about you, Miss One Arm. And close your mouth. Well, don't talk with food in your mouth.
God, don't
Very-
mind him.
Unappealing.
Yeah,
Rude.
we're probably going to leave a little bit afternoon. If you want to spend your time, relaxing, shopping before then, that's fine. But, it's
I
6 days of
guess.
travel. Gonna be lots of downtime.
I suppose. I mean, whatever. We're going to go to this freaking stupid keep and do this shit. Whatever.
I mean, you don't have to come if you really don't want to.
No, I mean, and like she looks over at Dallas, and Dallas is just kind of.
If you come with us, Isla will make you food.
Oh,
God.
that's Well, when you make an argument like that, how can I say no? Can I sit on your lap and you tell me stories, Grandpa? That's when I was young.
You.
He would love to.
She's making this
Eli
very
loves-
cutesy face at you.
Eli loves telling stories.
I do. But you would crush me in that armor.
It's not that heavy.
Listen, if I was to gauge my level of strength, I would be at an 8 out of like 20.
Okay, I get it. You would get all hot and flustered. Pretty tiefling sitting on your lap. It's okay. I understand. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's professed. It's been a while for him, I guess.
Dallas,
I'll have you know, my dear friend is a tiefling.
Dallas, you hired the pervert. And Dallas just puts one hand on his face like this, just... good luck getting the keep, the four of you. Do let me know how that goes.
Oh, goodness.
Like
This
he's
is going to be
rubbing his
long.
temples.
Yeah. This is going to be a long trip.
Anybody know any magic that can let us talk over a long distance?
I do.
Oh, perfect.
Wait, who do you want? Do you want me to? Hold on. And she like points a finger at you, and you hear like a whisper in your ear. I can do a thing like this too.
Callie used to do this thing where
I
she could
whisper
write
back, "Oh,
things
that's
in the
real
clouds.
Oh no, I can't do that one.
Yeah, it's good on the boat.
That's boring. Why are you going to write in the clouds? That's lame.
It's
better
fun
to
when you're
talk
on
it-
a boat. It's a boat.
But if you're in a boat, then why don't you just go swimming? Swimming's more
Because
fun.
you're in the sharks.
Oh my goodness, you're making my head
And you
hurt.
killed the
Are you
sharks.
going... What happened to your arm?
Sharks.
Well, I was trying to tell you what happened, but before I was so rudely interrupted. And she just smiles at you, Eli, with like her fangs just sticking out. Just, it's okay, I tell you. So what happened was, you see, so I made my way. I was walking, and I was walking some more, and I went through Nasari. Really pretty place, let me tell you. Really nice there. Lots of really weird people though, but like there's lots of cool things, like that thing. And you see her point at the necklace around Zai's neck. There was pretty things like that, and like that, and she points at the dagger that Isla's got. And so I went through there, and then I kept walking.
And that was where?
That was in
Nelmasari.
Nelmasari.
Okay.
And I was walking some more, and I made it to Eastbourne, and I was there, and there was this noble family, and they were kind of snooty, but they were also kind of really fucked because their kid was sick. And it was making the entire town like really dark and depressing and moody. Like there was like spooky fog everywhere, and it just felt really shitty the whole time. You walk in to like someone's place and like they're really depressed, and then like it makes you feel really depressed, and you're like, oh, I don't really want to be here. Like it was that kind of depressed. So I was like, okay, well maybe I can fix. So I went and I saw the child, and the child was laying in the bed. And I was like, okay, child, it's okay. Going to make you better now. And I did my spells. And there was apparently some sort of creature inside of the child making him sick because it was a parasitic creature. So I had to kind of fight it because my spell kind of made it leave the body. And I killed it, but it kind of ate my arm. And then I started walking back. And I came here. After going through Nanasari again, and I was walking through, and then I came here. Oh, and here. And she pulls out a bag and just tosses it to Dallas, and he just kind of nods. pulls out what looks to be a very generous portion of gold and hands it back to her. And she just takes it and goes, "Thank you. Yeah. And now I'm here and having some food, and we were talking, and then I told you guys about me going to Eastbourne."
Did it not ever occur to you, as a cleric, to fix your arm?
See, well, the problem is I kind of don't have that kind of spell right now. That's kind of a thing that you get when you're stronger, like if you're a really devoted cleric and you've been at it for a while. I don't have that one. Not yet. I'm working on it.
I mean, you could have stopped while you passed through Nelinasari, I'm sure. A place like that.
Funny enough, Nelnasari, not really very religious. Not a lot of people there that
I mean, there's other magics that can fix that.
Yeah, but I mean, it was bound to happen anyways, so I mean, it's fine. Like, if I get the magic to do it, then great. And if not, well, then that is the way of water.
You are just so fine with this, and it's so alarming.
You really don't know the ways of the god of water, do you?
I am not really...
Do you need me to teach you a lesson?
I don't need lessons from a cleric. I am a scholar.
It's why, Eli. They just kind of go with the flow.
I'm aware. It has always bothered me how willy-nilly and free they go.
Well, it's a lot easier to be free and kind of enjoy your life when you know that everything is set in stone anyways. Well, not really set in stone, because that's kind of like the god of stone sort of thing. But you know,
wasn't it be like set in water for you or something?
I feel like you're kind of making fun of me right now, and I don't...
I'm not, actually.
Come now, Eli. That doesn't make any sense. Water moves.
Exactly.
That's
like
what I'm
it
trying
was
to
set
say,
in
like,
it was set in water, so it would be always moving, and it would never be set in stone. That should be like the exact opposite of what she just said. None of this makes sense to me.
Water can be angry too.
God of water.
I don't
I've seen angry water.
Stuff, are ya?
I don't understand anything that you just did. Okay,
I
you ready to go?
Yes, please. Let's go.
Okay, great.
I've grown restless in this place, and I have learned nothing the last few days.
I can teach you on the road.
Got a cool wand.
I did get that, and that was pretty amazing. But I scoured the library here, and I did find something in one of those books. Actually, I take that back. It wasn't a total waste of time. It wasn't a waste of time at all. But I just get cooped up.
Oh, hey, Daedalus.
Yes.
Is any way we could get like a copy of the deed for the keep, just in case? I really doubt it, but just in case someone comes down there.
A copy. Oh. I don't know any scribes that could do it, but
Figured you wouldn't want to get rid of the original one.
No, I'd prefer to keep that on my person, thank you. Eli, are you any good at transcribing documentation and whatnot?
I have graded many a paper and copied many a spell in my day. I think I could handle that.
Very well. And he pulls out the original deed, and we'll say for the sake of speed, he goes up and gets like some blank parchment and like a quill and whatnot, brings it back down. If you wouldn't mind, then, if you could perhaps transcribe a duplicate of this, and I will sign it myself.
Very well, then.
Make a intelligence check.
Yes. Intelligence. Where's the button for intelligence?
Can I help by pointing out the places where he messes up? It's like, oh, no, this one's different right here.
Yeah.
22.
Roll again, just in case.
11. I'll take that 22.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to very neatly and succinctly copy the handwriting and everything that is on this deed. And in front of you, you find yourself holding a exact duplicate. Albeit much nicer, being that the old one is a bit faded and worn.
Right.
And Dalus,
I think that will suffice nicely.
Dalus gives you a nod, takes the duplicate, signs it. Well, that should cover that then. Not sure what else I can say other than good luck. I imagine you're going to need it.
Well, since Faith can contact you over long distance, you'll probably be hearing from her if we clear it out.
Please do. As soon as we get the word that you've cleared it out, we will get everything on whatever cart we may be able to acquire and make our way to you.
Yeah. We'll try to make it habitable while you're headed down.
That would be most useful.
Well, anyway, have to leave some point.
Right.
And-
Well, good luck to the four of you. I sincerely hope that you are able to do this, because if not, I'm not sure what we're going to be able to do then. So we can't stay here.
You can count on us. We'll get the job done.
I hope so. Oh, stop it already. You're being all sullen and boring. It's like, oh no, what if you're going to die? We're going to do it. It's going to be fine.
Yep. Let's hit the road.
I agree with her for once, but
That's
you like
not gonna
me.
happen.
I knew it. You like me. It's okay. I understand. I'm pretty, and you like the horns and the tail.
I am very uncomfortable with this conversation now. There is one quick thing that Eli wants to do before they leave. He's gonna write a letter to. Speaking of tieflings, he's gonna write a letter to Lilith,
Okay.
letting her know that they're leaving Shayliz and they're heading down to the Freelands and to that keep.
Okay.
In the background, Zai's talking to Faith. I like your teeth, see? I got some just like it. And
No,
I flash
you're-
my teeth.
No, yours are different though, because yours are like dragon teeth, where it's like, with the cutting and the shredding.
And then I change my teeth over and then change them back.
As he seals the letter and he'll like walk by Faith, and he'll be like, thank you for reminding me that, yes, I do like the horns and the tail and the teeth, and that I need to send my lady friend a letter letting her know what's going on. Thank you for the reminder.
Did you tell your lady friend that you're cheating on her?
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
He
to
just-
mention if you're doing that.
Just blank stares at her, turns and walks out.
He's a weird one.
I don't think he wanted to admit it.
That's okay. Everybody is like that with me. It'll be fun. Okay, let's go.
And we leave.
And you guys leave. You walk out of the guild hall and begin making your way south. And I think that's a good place for us to end it for the night.
Yes.
All right. Well, that was a ton of fun. So we are going to go around, find out where we can find everybody and what their favorite moment from tonight was. And then we're going to call it quits for the night. So, again, starting to my right, Kyle.
So you can find me on Twitter at RageQuitKyle. And I think my favorite moment is gonna be
Final Fantasy 2.
I remember my I even remember my okay, so yeah, either Kyle face V2, or I actually do like the interaction between Faith as much as my character despises it. It's too funny.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun for me to play Fate too. I like playing Fate. She's fun.
It's like, ugh.
And what about you, Neil?
You can find me on Twitter at Bardic Martin. And I liked getting all my magic junk that I have now.
You do. You have 2 magic junks now.
I have so much magic stuff. My fucking Unseen Servant is stronger than I am now.
Yep.
So that's good. Unless I use that dagger, and then I become the strong. Yes.
You
Kind
become
of.
a bigger Ilo.
I become a bigger Ilo with advantage on strength checks for no reason.
Yep. Okay, and what about you, Onyx?
Yeah, I'm Onyx. You can find me on Twitter at OnyxQWE. And my favorite part obviously has to be the crap ton of blacksmithing I did.
Oh my god. So much blacksmithing. But hey, you guys now have your artifact weapons.
And I didn't fail any of the throws and lose my hands and go insane. It's wonderful. Because that's a definite possibility.
That would have been funny as hell.
God.
As for myself, you can find me on Twitter at arch_DND. You can also find me running the Lucky Die podcast Twitter, which is at TLDpod, where both myself and Neil are on the podcast itself.
Yeah, I forget to say that every time.
Well, that's why I make sure to say it.
Okay.
I got you.
Uh-huh.
You can find me on here streaming pretty much every single night at midnight Eastern time until roughly 3 a.m. usually. That being said, we are not having a live stream tomorrow night, just because I have a surgery Tuesday morning and I need to get some semblance of sleep. That being said, I'm probably going to be laying in bed staring at my ceiling, cursing my life and all my choices. My favorite part, God, so many, like, all of it. Cat.
O'Malley.
I think my favorite part of all was probably you guys finally getting your artifact weapons. Just because I do enjoy creating artifact weapons and things like that for my... Like, I have a theme with my campaigns where I like for there to be, like, that one soulbound air quotes, item that everybody gets that is, like, your go-to thing, like, that grows with you. That being said, these items will grow with you guys in a sense, where it will, over time, get better. Just because that's what I do. Cat!
O'Malley.
Alright, well, that being said, thank you all very much for watching. For those of you who may have tuned in halfway through or just at the end, this will be on my YouTube channel, which is ArchD&D. It'll be on there tomorrow night, because I have to wait 24 hours because I'm an affiliate. Yeah. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Cat!
Yep. It's O'Malley.